I want you to notice when God is talking to Noah that he says thee, he says thou, and he says thee in this verse, in verse 18. You know, a lot of people tell us the King James Bible is confusing and hard to understand. They say, well, I just can't understand the these and the thous and the ye's. I'm gonna teach you in like a minute, and you can read the Bible and you won't have to worry about it. Thee and thou are singular. Ye is plural. You in the Bible is plural. You know, it's amazing that, I mean, that's pretty simple. You can tell he's talking to Noah. He says, but with thee will I establish my covenant. He's talking to him individually. And he says, thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee. Why did he establish the covenant with Noah? Well, look at Genesis 7, verse 1. Genesis 7, verse 1. Once again, the Lord's talking to Noah. It says, and the Lord said unto Noah, come thou, that's singular, come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. You see, Noah's wife was not spared because she was righteous. Noah's wife was spared because Noah was righteous. It says, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. You know, I looked this up in the NIV out of curiosity, and it's a confusing verse in the NIV. It's not clear what's being said. But those these and the thous, they're very helpful. It's very clear he's saying, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Noah's sons were not spared because they were righteous. They were spared because their father Noah was righteous. Noah's daughters-in-law, they weren't spared because they were righteous. They were spared because Noah was righteous. Now, let me make this clear here. We're not talking about salvation when it's saying righteous here. You know, a lot of people have this idea that the only 8 people that went to heaven that were alive during that time period were Noah and his family. But, I mean, that's pretty ridiculous, because think about this. Noah was a great man of God. He obviously would have been preaching the gospel, trying to get people saved. Do you mean to tell me that he wasn't able to convert a person decade after decade after decade? Nobody ended up getting saved? I mean, there's going to be a lot more than 8 people saved in this world. The vast majority of people will always reject Jesus Christ. The vast majority of people will always reject God's word, but there are going to be some that are going to believe on Jesus Christ. Not only that, if you look up at the time frame, Methuselah, the granddad of Noah, he died during the time period of the flood, the same year. Now, I personally believe he probably got wiped away in the flood. It is possible he died before then. He was the oldest man that ever lived, and he died the exact year of the flood. He outlived his son Lamech by 5 years, which was the father of Noah. But see, either way, we need to understand this today. Just because you're saved does not mean that you're going to escape reaping what you sow in this life. We're going to pay for the sins that we commit.